Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the Sunday Night Hang right here on the Ben Coombs YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give us a like either way. It's the least you can do. Tonight we're hanging out with a good friend of mine. He knows tone. He knows so much tone that it's right in the name. Adam Reiver of FU Tone. Good to have you back, my friend.
What's up, man?
Man, you know, I've been following what you've been up to. You've been a busy guy this year, and we were able to carve out some time tonight. And man, I want to get right into it. In fact, we'll do roll call here. We got quite a bunch of people in the chat already. We've got Dan of New Jersey, Tim Thomas, JP Page 2, Fret Level Midnight, Jennifer Ferrallo. Welcome, Jennifer.
Oh, look at that.
Let's see here. Guitar Man 45, BC Rich 581, Absolute Mayhem, Scott Brockway, Billy Baloney, Fruitcake Tony, Papa Blue, Random Gaming TV, Terry's 3Gs, Ricky Compton, Randy Crooks, Joe C, Magic Man, Tim Thomas, Mark Taft, Charles 75N, Mark Effects, Other Left, and some early birds in here. RJ Ronquillo's in here, Martin Lemaire, Southern Shade, Symmetry, L&M Guitar Corner, Late Night in Austria, Hip Metal Works, and a cavalcade of others. Cool Tunes Made Easy, Thunder Falcon. Awesome. So, man, stuff's happened since the last time we've talked.
It's been a minute. It's been too long, and yeah, man, I miss you.
I missed you too. So we're getting together tonight. We get to catch up. And we won't wait so long next time, folks. We'll tell you right now. So it was one of those things. I know it's been crazy. So I wanted to talk about the FU Tone guitar right now because I've been lusting over that thing since you went, hey, come here, try this. And you,
right, in California. Yeah. Now, yeah.
Yeah, and I went, ooh, this is nice. And then...
Right.
With the latest run, the Seafoam Green, I just went, forget about it. It's just been
Thank you.
An earworm ever since because, yeah, looks great, sounds great, plays great. Hey, JJ, Layla's. Yes, so congrats on the second run of that because the first run was gone in no time.
It's funny, the first run that I did was 50 guitars. And as I had told you before in California, and I think we talked about it offline as well, it wasn't really what I do. It's not my core business. My core business is, bridges, bridge parts, upgrades, things like that. And I just kept expanding. And a friend of mine in the guitar side of the business convinced me to do a guitar. When I say convinced, I mean it took a couple of 3 martini lunches to get me to go along with this. I'm like, it's out of my scope. It's not. He goes, listen, you make bodies, you make necks, you make bridges, you make pickups, he goes, put it all together. And I was still hesitant to do that. And he said, why don't you design a guitar? Design the guitar that you want. And it appealed to me, and I designed it, which is the guitar that we put out. And I made 50 guitars, and I said 2 things. I said, one, I want to sell the guitars direct, and I want to sell them at the thinnest possible margin that I can to sell a guitar at a good price point that's you're getting more than what you paid for.
Sure.
And because I sell it direct, and I handle the manufacturing direct with the factory, and I can sell right to the end user, it cuts out the distributor, the dealer, the salesman. So it really cuts out a lot of fat in the equation. And when people would come in my office and play the prototype or the sample, they would say, this is great, just like you. That feels great. It sounds great. It plays great. They would say, how much? And I would always go $2,800, and they would go, "That's great. Every bit of a $2,800 guitar." And then I would go, "How about $1,200?" And they're like, you can't sell that guitar for $1,200. I go, actually, I can. And so anyway, the 50 guitars, I thought like, all right, I'll do this 50 guitars. They'll last me a year. And they ended up lasting me 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I took a shot. I did a run of 100 guitars, and I added a couple colors, which was that last run, and they disappeared like that. So I have 100 more coming in right after New Year's, and I'm placing another order, for later in the year for another 200 guitars now. And I keep expanding, the colors, the options,
sure,
things like that. So it's working out.
I dig it. Scott Brockway, thank you for the super chat. He says, Adam, can you pretty please make a locking titanium bridge posts for Floyd's and Edge Pro Trems? Thank you, loyal customer.
I do make a titanium post and insert for it would work for Floyd's and Shallers and this and that. It's the standard post that everyone's familiar with now. I don't make it in a direct replacement for the Edge as of yet. If you really wanted it, you could have the holes filled and re-drilled and then use the new post. But I do make titanium posts and in colors.
That's true. That's true. What's up, Benjamin Payne? Great to see you. Brad Guitar Miller's here. Awesome. Let's see here. I saw that. I wanted to get that before I lost it altogether. A lot of people saying hi. This is awesome. Steve Luther. Pretlow Midnight says, my eventual goals are the titanium bridge saddles. Those look sick AF. I got them. I love them. I will say that for sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
For that as well. Is metalworking in your family? Why have I seen brass claw screws bust, but have never seen yours bust? Are the titanium parts 100% titanium? Huge fan.
So metalworking in my family, no. And if you want to trace the line back to metalworking for me, it would just go straight to high school. And so like everyone took a shop. There was a wood shop, there was a metal shop. And metal shop for me turned out to be something that I really grabbed onto it. I loved metal shop. It was fun. It was interesting. It's the only class that I got straight A's in my entire life. And I just really enjoyed it. I enjoyed working in the metal shop. Part two of his question, are they 100% titanium? The answer is yes, but the truth is titanium is an alloy, and the definition of alloy is more than one metal. So two or more metals combine to make another metal. So titanium by nature is an alloy, meaning made up of, and there's different grades of titanium. There's, it's endless. You can get, different versions of titanium, some that are better than others, depending on your application.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Brad Miller mentions he got to check out Rob Welch's purple Tesi guitar when he was gigging in Florida recently. We loved it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Rob from Tesi Switch is awesome. Great guy. Friend for a long time. I'm trying to work with him right now so that we change the switches on the guitar to be a Tesi switch.
Yeah, I may have blatantly mentioned that on a show a month ago. When he was in the chat, he's like, "Nah, it's not official yet." I'm like, "Well, okay, so breaking news again, unofficially."
Totally unofficially, but I'm working on it because I want the Tesi switch for the same reason that I do everything on my guitars.
Sure.
Better parts, better components. Isn't that Tesi makes a great switch, and they're a great company, and Rob's a great guy, and I support the companies that support me.
Sure. Thank you very much, Jennifer. She says, Ben, this is so cool. You have FU tone on.
Right? Look at her, SSGG. I know her.
Nice. Yes, and for those who don't know, we did quite the upgrade on my Kramer last year. I got on the phone with Adam, and I'm like, what do I need? And he's like, well, what kind of block are you looking at? I said, you're the expert. You tell me what would be a nice fit. You know me. And
Right.
it's like, here's the list you need. I went, let's do it. And we did. And there's a series of videos of that here on the channel, folks.
You know, listen, you and I go way back, and I appreciate, forget that we're friends. It's easy because, you know, from the first time we met, even online until we met in person, we had a great synergy, great friendship. That's easy. But what I'll say to you, and I say it every time, and I say it to you and my friends that do what you do, I appreciate what you do for the reason that you do it. You're passionate about your topic. You're passionate about guitar. You like messing with stuff and tinkering. But more importantly, you share the information. You talk to people. You're doing what you're doing right now. And, you know, when I was a kid, we didn't have, obviously, no internet. I was I'm a little past that. We didn't have access to the information. And I always felt that the companies, the big companies, kept it either a secret or they just didn't care to share it. It was, you had to figure it out by trial and error. You know, I remember being a kid with my best friend trying to figure out how to change strings on a locking tremolo in the very infancy of locking tremolos, where, you know what, they really didn't help you. They sold you shit and wished you luck. And you better figure it out. So remembering that and the things I struggled with as a kid, I like to make instructional videos. I handle all the customer service calls. I'll get on the phone with a kid or get on a video and walk someone through something, because I remember what it was like to not have the info and be hung out to dry. Sure. And footnote to that as well, there's so much bad information online that it's a disservice. And a lot of times I'll get a text service email or phone call, you know, it's like, oh, you know, the guy online said XYZ. I'm like, oh God, that's, you know, so wrong. All of a sudden everyone's an expert.
Right. So. Kurt 5150 says FU Tone rocks my world. Awesome.
Thank you, Kurt.
RJ, who I turned him onto your stuff a while back, he asks, is neon pink an option for hardware?
Yes and no. So not for all the screws as of yet. I'm doing custom color bridges. I have a neon pink base plate, saddles, arm, things like that, one-off stuff. And, you know, the custom colors for hardware, we're doing, you know, purple, pink, or purple, green, blue, red, black titanium for guys that want a traditional look but want titanium.
Sure.
So we're doing that. We have silver. You know, the list is growing.
I know RJ has a hot soft spot for pink on his guitars, so
nice.
Makes sense. All Dave, all night. Love the name. All Good the titanium one. FU Tone parts has supercharged my old Charvel Model 2. Nice. Dig it. Hey, Michael B's here. Jennifer says FU Tone is the shit.
Yep. Listen, who's the shit now? I'll tell you who's the shit now. You're the shit, Ben. And we're the shit. And this is great. I love chatting with, you know, people who get it. Guys that are dorks like us. You know, just guitar dorks that have fun with it.
Yeah, we just nerd out to the point of nerding. I remember we were doing a show over on Dave Nesdall's channel, which, of course, Dave's a friend of yours as well.
Hey, Dave.
We got into the size of the knurling on Telecaster knobs and the preferred size of the knurling.
That's nerd to the 10th degree. Nerd power.
Loved it. Yes. Let's see here. Oh, I wanted to also mention, are you still doing any work with Sully guitars?
Yeah. John at Sully is a really great friend, and I think John is one of those guys that I call it part of the revolution. The guys that just do what they want to do. They build a better mousetrap. better parts, better design, very creative. And, you know, he'll use my stuff on certain runs and this and that. John is a great friend and a great luthier, and I highly recommend checking out Sully Guitars. They're just amazing.
Yeah, I think that's the last time we talked in person was in the Sully booth at the last.
I believe you're right. Yeah.
Yes, awesome. Let's see what we got here. Leo says all my EVH Stripe Series guitars were upgraded with FU Tone parts. All sound killer now.
Thank you.
Awesome. And Scott Brockaway actually forwarded some surplus FU Tone parts my way recently.
What do you mean surplus?
Apparently, I don't know, he was going in a less wiggle stick, way of life temporarily. I'm not sure, but he's like, can you use this brass block? I said, I can always use a brass block.
Nice.
Yes. And there was something else as well that's escaping me at the moment. He sent me a locking trem intonation tool, which was great because I've been doing it for years without one. And yeah, you've done it without as well. And it just multiplies your time by 8, probably.
I've done it so much, and I've got it down to a bit of a science. So like I'll intonate by hand, but the key intonation tool I think is very precise, very easy to use, and a great little doohickey.
Yeah, little thingamabobs.
Exact. That's the technical term.
Yeah. Stuff that we have in little drawers, or like I always take a case to all my gigs. I call it my tickle trunk, and it's got the strings and a soldering iron just in case, and thingamabobs and gadgets and this and that and the other thing. Gotta have it. Makes all the fun stuff go around. I have a question for you because for anyone that doesn't follow Adam on the socials, you should, because he works and plays hard at times, I'll just say. And, I've noticed you've been doing a bit of road work, doing some setups on some guitars, and just checking things out. And I was curious, how did you get into that? Like, were you a tech on someone's tour? I know you've been begged to do it, I'm sure, on occasion.
I was not a tech or a touring tech per se. To do what I do and to work with the guys I work with, a lot of times I'll have to be on site on a gig. We'll A/B parts, we'll try different things. That's to bring a new guy in, or if it's a guy I work with already, if they're in the area, I'll always come in. We'll tighten up their stuff, try new stuff, see what's going on. And some of my fly date guys, I'll actually jump in and take over the pit for them, and we'll handle that. And it's funny because I don't want to be a touring tech, nor did I have any desire, but every once in a while I'll get that tap on the shoulder, like, hey man, do you want to do this? I'm like, no, I do what I do. I do my thing for FU. I help when I can, and you're on your own after that.
It's one of the added advantages of being an FU Tone artist. If you're playing in town and Adam happens to be in town, you get the once over.
Absolutely. The once over. I'll leave it at that.
Well, I can imagine you would pick up a guitar and you're like, really? This, you're happy with that? And some guys might be, I love it that way. And you're like, all right, you're the artist, but
yeah, it really goes smooth for the most part. Most guys, and I don't care how big of an artist they are or how big of a tour it is, they're the same as you and me, just geeking and nerding, and I'll, especially guys I've been working with for a long time. It's like, I'll come down to the gig, they'll be like, what's new? What do you got? Some of my guys I'll use as like the guinea pig to try new parts on. I know which guys are good for that. Like, for example, Phil Collin from Def Leppard will always be like, what's new? I'll be like, let's try this new nut. Let's try these new acoustic pins. Let's do this or that. And, he's definitely a great crash test dummy.
He's a gear nerd. Yeah.
Oh, total. Total gear nerd.
You always spot those guys. Those are the guys that if they're not on tour, when NAMM rolls around, they're there elbow to elbow with everybody else. Like, oh, wow, check that out. You know, that's cool.
Yeah.
And Phil's one of those guys.
Totally.
Yes. Let's see here. Okay, Magic Man's got a question for everyone. Hey, we're everyone. Who has experience with the Supro Black Magic 1695 T combo? He's thinking about picking one up. Any experience with Supro amps?
The reissue, I've played a few of them. They sound great. Always dug them. You know, that particular model, I think, is the new one.
Yes.
I haven't seen the last run of Supro stuff, but I like the idea of Supro. I like the idea of reissuing, you know, a classic brand like that when done right. I just glanced at your chat. Fret Level says Phil Collin plays with piano wire. Not only does Phil Collin play with, you know, thick, heavy strings, 14s, 13s, and 14s in standard tuning, the necks on his guitar are so fat and huge. So you see him up there playing a Jackson PC1, shredding it out like he's, you know, playing a Charvel with eights.
Right.
And the truth is, you know, that thing is a monster. Almost unplayable. I did a guitar for him recently. He had gotten a new guitar, comes here first. And then I was playing it, and I called him, and I was on video with him going over the guitar. And I go, and this neck, he goes, it's great, right? I go, no, it's horrible. I go, it's like playing the side of a lunch counter. And metal picks, that's true too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fret Level Midnight was asking, are all the FU tone guitars like around 8+ pounds? I heard they're on the heavier side.
They are on the heavier side. So it's a heavy piece of wood. It's the big, heavy bridge loaded with everything, 42L block, brass stopper, brass claw, heavy. Under the pickups, I have the PMS brass bar mounting system. There's a lot of hardware in this guitar. It is a heavier guitar. It's very Les Paulish. But
still very comfortable.
I think, and it's a comfortable guitar to play. It's balanced well, but the weight of this guitar plays into the sound of the guitar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, killer sustain. Oh,
thank you.
Like Phil Collin looks at SRV strats and laughs at how cute the strings look to him.
It's ridiculous the way his guitars are set up, but boy, he makes it look easy.
Right. And for those who say, you know, a locking trem, you got to run 9s. You'll never be able to set one up otherwise.
It's not true. Not true at all.
It's all about balance.
Everything. Oh, someone said, I love what you do. Tracy Guns turned me on to you. Thank you, Benji.
Yes, thank you.
The whole thing is balance, and in part of the videos I do, if you watch the spring video, it's string tension versus spring tension to make that balance, and that's if you're a floating guy. So I don't care what tuning you use. I don't care what gauge strings you play. I don't care. You know, if you want to play 13s and drop C, there's a math problem to balance that. If you want to play 10s in standard, there's that too. There's no limit to this. And going back to what we talked about before, the misinformation out there it actually bothers me that, you know, people will say, well, I read on the internet, you know, I can't play, you know, 10s in, you know, open G on a floating tremolo. You can play anything in any tuning with any gauge and make a balance.
Exactly. It's all math.
The whole thing's a math problem.
Yep. Hey, Laz. Lurking while driving. All right. Well, lurk. Don't voice to text or anything. You just concentrate on the road and we'll talk tone. And they see it. Yeah, quite a few people have made purchases through the website and such, which is awesome to see.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Well, I know I throw a lot of people your way for that stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I was thinking too, the Tracy Guns comment. I was thinking when Tracy appeared on Pete Thorne's live stream a few months ago. He's like, "Oh, have you seen my new signature Kramer?" He's like, "All right, now the production one's the first run. They don't have the Effutone parts, but mine have all the Effutone parts, and they're gonna have them on it." And I'm thinking, if Aljon Go sees this, all of a sudden you've taken his price margin and just thrown it out the window, because I was like, "Yeah, but I get it." And Tracy was so proud of that, and he was talking you up, and as he should.
Tracy is a good friend. Tracy is an incredible guitar player. Tracy is just a nice guy, and a piece of rock history.
Right.
For the obvious reasons. But what it boils down to me is Tracy is a hell of a guitar player that writes great songs. Mm-hmm. He's personable. He's friendly. Tracy was here at Effutone before pandemic, and he made a patch on my head rush for me, and we're just sitting there playing with the guitars and dicking around. And I said, "Hey man, show me how to play Over the Edge the right way." And he's like, "Well, yeah." We grab guitars and off we go. I love Tracy, and just what a great guy, what a great guitar player.
And I'm going to say one of the exception to the rule out of that scene, and the fact that he isn't still stuck in the 80s. He's always progressed as a player on the gear he uses. He's not afraid to take a chance. And I believe he has a new album out, does he not?
There's a brand new LA Guns album out.
Oh,
the album is great, and when you say stuck in the 80s, for lack of a better term, Tracy progresses as a songwriter, as a guitarist, and the band, to me, every guy in that band is great.
Yep.
Ace Von Johnson and Phil, and everyone, Johnny Martin. These are great guys, great musicians, and just if you get a chance to see them live, go see them, because it's like going back to 80 Sunset Strip, and these guys just going for it because they care, because they can. They're not phoning it in. They're not there like, "Here's the hits, give us our money, we'll go home." It's the real deal.
Exactly. Music Therapy Les says he ordered a bunch of Effutone parts, although it says Epitome. He's using voice to text. I get it. To put into his Parallel Universe Blacktop Strat, which, yes, we should mention, it's not all just locking trims at Effutone. He's got upgrades even for you hardtail fans. You got Les Paul upgrade parts.
Yeah, I got Stoptail stuff. I have Telly stuff. I have Stratocaster stuff. I make stuff for acoustic guitars, bridge pins and things like that. It's all based on the same principle of, I just try to find the weak link in any guitar and make it sound a little better.
Sure. Hey, Zach, good to see you, my friend. Yeah, I've been, every once in a while, I'm browsing the website. I'm like, oh yeah. And then all of a sudden my cart, I'm looking at it going, oh, wow, that happened fast. Because I'm thinking, well, this guitar could use this, and that guitar could use that. And I'm like, oh, he's carrying this stuff now. Including, I'm going to bring it up because not enough people do, the Hex Hider Key.
Yeah, I was doing them for a while. And then actually, funny you say that one. I just stopped carrying that one.
Okay.
There's political reasons involved. And you know what? Good for them. Guy came up with a cool thing, but roll around and shit, you'll start to smell after a while.
Well, that happens too.
Listen, I'm doing this starting with D-Tuna for 30 years. So I've seen it come and go and this and that. And you know what? It's a cool thing. And that one ran its course. Jen just bought something, it says on the site. I wonder what it was. Coffee mug, T-shirt.
Yeah, that threw me. Where was I going? I had a train of thought, gone.
Your train of thought was other products I carry outside of
stuff. Yeah. And Brad mentioned earlier too, Brad Miller mentioned you carry some tools as well, which is handy, not just what you would think, oh, it goes with locking trim, bubble, like you have some nice alternatives to StewMac, is what I'm saying.
I like to partner with companies, and I call commodity items, meaning stuff that aren't FU tone items, that a commodity item is something, you know, other companies sell that if you're shopping on my site anyway, it may be useful to you. Things like strings or tuners or this or that. But from the tool side, I've been carrying a lot of the Music Nomad products. They make, you know, a great truss rod wrench kit, screwdriver kits, this, that. I carry, you know, spring pull tools and this. I like the basic stuff, cutters. You know, if you're here anyway, I know you use it. And I'm very particular about what brands and products I will carry. I'm not just going to load it up like a Guitar Center and sell everything under the sun. I look for the stuff that I think is better, little higher quality, better thought out. And that's what I go for.
Jennifer bought some trem stoppers and stabilizers. Nice.
She's something. She needs to be stabilized.
And I remember the other item Scott sent me was a D-tuna when you mentioned D-tuna. That's
yeah. Obviously, D-tuna is my first company in the business. EVH Drop D D-tuna. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep. And anybody that has a problem with them, contact Adam or me, because you know, let's be honest, before I got into that was early in my Kramer ownership that I got one of those off of you. And I did a video without editing. It was 10 minutes and it was intonate everything, like done. Perfect. 10 minutes, folks.
Cool.
And that was me going, I don't know. Am I going to look at the instruction? Nah, we'll just hit record on the camera and see what happens. That's usually my MO. The FU2 bridge, I believe you're discussing there, John DeShane. Good to see you there.
It moves fast. I'm getting old. I missed that one.
Yeah, he says, I didn't know there was an FU tone Floyd. No.
Locking trem.
Locking trem. I made that mistake the first time Adam was on the show. I learned my lesson.
It's all good, man. It's all good. Just a reflex vernacular slip.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things. It's like not all facial tissues are Kleenex, right?
That is exactly right.
So you know, we don't refer to fulcrum trems all the time as fulcrum trem. Most people, it's got a strat trem on it. Well, it's not necessarily.
Guilty myself here and there, but get it.
Adam, Steve Douglas. Adam, how do you like your Macon?
McCann, yeah.
Get one, but got a great deal on a BMW X4 instead.
I love it. I love it. Great car. The S. I didn't like the stock one, but when I drove it, I went and I tried it on a whim. I love the S, and great car. Good fun.
Nice. There's brother Aaron from Albus Band saying not all copies are a Xerox. Exactly. And Aaron will be on next week's show.
Great point.
Let's see. V-Man asks, which color FU tone springs are recommended? 3 to replace 4 in a Mexican Strat to get a similar tension.
What gauge strings and what tuning? And to answer this question broadly for everybody, there's a video on my site about the springs. And I answer this question probably more than any other question. And again, watch the video because I'll show you with, you know, visual aids and make it work for you. You know, and again, this is another thing. There's so much misinformation out there that it drives me crazy. You know, I posted a picture the other day with a spring on an angle and the guy screaming, you don't need to put the spring on the angle, and string tension versus spring tension. And it's a balancing. It's like the scales of justice. So I can do the same math problem with 2, 3, 4, or 5 springs. I could do them straight. I could do them angled. I could do this. I could do that. It's a physics problem. And for the same reason I make noiseless springs, I always suggest using the least amount of springs. So going down in number, whether you have to run them straight or angled, but what the answer is, watch the video instead of me answering every possible scenario of,
well, that was the funny part. Because he came up with oh crap, 10 to 46 standard tuning.
10 to 46 standards. I would go personally, I would probably use purple, the extra heavy duty, and only use 2. You could probably get it done with 2 red. You could definitely get it done with 3 red. But again, back to the least amount of springs, set that way. So I would get the purple and run 2.
And of course,
and I would still say watch the video, because I'm going to show you different things.
And I would say, like, more on me. When I ordered the springs from you, I went by colors. I went, well, I want
what matches,
because I wanted to look like a Canadian flag. And I put it in. I went, whoa, okay, let's just remove the white one because 2 reds are perfect.
I think on this one, here's your for you, and staying with your Canadian theme, I ran red and white.
Nice.
On this one.
Awesome. Let's see here. We're going to go until the top of the hour, folks. So keep those questions coming on in. Say hey to each other there. Yes, and I will say, folks, the FU2 bridge is a sweet bridge, comfortable, and it adds tone. Let's see here. JFK 1973. Hello. Adam, I got my wife an FU tone shirt because her maiden name starts with FU, hence it was a nickname. Now her whole family wants a shirt. Now her whole family wants a shirt. Love your springs and blocks.
Thank you, and thank you.
Thanks. Yes, I enjoy wearing my FU tone shirt as well. Because people are like, oh, wow. It's like, yeah. Those who know, know. Hey, Eddie Van Haskell.
Eddie Van Haskell, good one.
Yes. I love that name. Thunder Falcon says, so bass side spring different than the treble side spring? You can.
Again, watch the video.
Yep.
It's the scales of justice. You can, if you have 100 pounds on this side of the scale of rocks, on this side you could put 100 pounds of feathers, pennies, quarters. 100 pounds equals 100 pounds. Same thing.
Mm-hmm. Kurt 5150 says he was wearing his FU tone yesterday.
You rule.
Nice. Gear Junkie 35 made it. He says, oh, lurking and cleaning. We'll catch the full replay tomorrow, of course. Yes, because he'll watch the replay and tomorrow he'll leave a comment. Oh, I didn't even catch this part.
Nice.
Good question. Charles says, what product do you carry that most guitarists need but don't realize?
Great question. And it depends. There's different categories. One of the things that I carry that I think makes a huge difference, and it did for me, is, and I don't have it handy, I can't show you, but the spring pull tool. So it's this really fine hook that you could grab the end of your spring, pull it out, and drop it right in. Now, how many times have you tried to put springs in with a screwdriver, a pair of pliers, this, that? They go shooting across the room.
Oh, yeah.
And again, when you find it on the site, there's a little demo video. I show you how to use it. The spring pull tool, to me, is one of those things like it'll save your life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Every time I see you use that in a video, I'm like, oh, yeah, right. Need one of those in my life. They're handy. James 5150 made it. Awesome. Fretlove Midnight says, I don't own any FU tone swag. Well, order some with your next parts order. Simple as that.
Nice. I saw someone just commented on the Vega Trem. And the Vega Trem is a Strat tremolo, and it says, is it compatible with the FU? Is the FU Trem compatible? Two different ball games.
Yeah.
So the FU Trem is a locking tremolo thing. The Vega tremolo is a very soft and spongy, wide range Strat style tremolo, completely different. Again, watch the video. Go watch the video for Vega Trem demo. Super cool bridge. Love these things, and just a different way to skin that cat.
That's true, Kurt. He says, yeah, the spring tool saves the back of your guitar. It can. It can. Let's see here. What did I see? Charlie S. He says, so my his number one's 2008 USA standard Strat maple neck using 9.5 strings, standard tuning. What would be my best upgrade?
I'm sorry. Let me just read that again so I get the question right. 2000 USA standard Strat maple neck 9.5. In my opinion, for Charlie, the best upgrade for the Strat for my money is the brass block under the Strat Trem. Brass block, noiseless springs, brass claw. You'll get the biggest tonal return on your dollar with a brass block with that guitar.
Nice. My lovely sister Amanda showed up.
Ha! What's up, Amanda?
Good to see Amanda.
She rolls.
She does.
Double thumbs. No, she's great. We go way back too. Love her. She's wonderful.
Yep. Let's see here. Laz, good to see you. Because I love tone toques, who doesn't? But I don't know how to spell that. Is that right? Close. Toque is Toque.
Obviously, he's not Canadian. Take off, you hoser.
Yeah. San Francisco Bay Area guy. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah. Northern
Get
California.
a new toque. New toque for the holidays.
Exactly. I just washed my I have a Tampa Bay Lightning toque I'm forced to wear on occasion.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. I lost a bet somewhere in life.
Flyers, baby.
Let's see here. I saw. No, I was thinking it. That's right. I went, wait, you make brass blocks for Strats. Dang it.
Yeah.
Another guitar to trick out.
Let's rock.
Yep, I think we're going to have to do that. Check the question for more guitars. All right. Maybe. Okay, so I did miss some. We'll scroll up. We'll find more guitars. Let's see here. More guitars. Adam, I have to believe that EVH didn't use his fully stock Floyds on his signature guitars, right? Wink, wink. I thought I remember his tech mentioning he used your titanium parts. Can you expand upon that?
Not really, and not too much, but yeah, what I can say is he used a lot of stuff on a lot of different guitars, and everything was different, and he was the ultimate mad scientist for parts, just and sorely missed.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, he was clearly he was a tinkerer. Because,
oh God, yeah.
He invented
it.
If you said to somebody, they're like, I want to learn how to play guitar, and they walked into a music store and a Frankenstein is hanging there, he'd be like, why is that priced over $20? Because that is a complete wreck of a guitar that's been chopped and cut. Yeah, but it's awesome. It's awesome. That's why.
What a guy.
Yep. Blackjack guitars. Let's see if we can answer that. Adam, what measurements are required for determining the proper brass block for a fake Floyd China? Well, you're trying to polish a turd, aren't you? Blackjack guitar.
That's okay. That is okay. So I make blocks that will fit almost every style of locking tremolo. So again, ad nauseum, watch the video on my homepage of how to measure the right size. That will give you the right height diameter. However, what you really need to know for something like that is what block will bolt up to it. So if you email me through the site, send me some pictures, Tell me what you got. I will tell you which block will bolt up to it. If you watch the video, I'll show you how to measure for max depth.
Mm-hmm. And let's be honest, if you get enough upgraded parts, that imitation Floyd is less imitation-y and more.
Well, you'll make anything sound better, you know.
Sure.
It doesn't matter. I don't care how bad the tremolo is.
Yeah.
You know, you add the block to it, you know, add the saddle inserts from there, you know, you're only going to get better.
Exactly. John Duchesne, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Thinking all these super chats might be going towards an FU-tone guitar on the next run, folks. I'm just thinking, you know. Let's see. Adam, I have all your springs. My Floyds are decked, and I'm trying to get the bar to depress as easy as possible. Suggestions?
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly how to do that. So what you want to do to start is you want to add extra tension. So your bar is kind of tight. Do your setup, you know, do your tuning, do your intonation, get everything where you want it to be so it's perfect. Then what you want to do is you want to start letting the claw out just until the bridge starts to lift up off of being decked or off of the stopper. Now you don't have enough tension. Now bring it back down. Now tighten it back in and bring it down just till it holds in tune. Theoretically, at that point, you will be held blocked, level to the body, in tune with the least amount of tension possible.
Exactly. Muddy Waters just joined in. You're going to want to watch the video on Adam's page on FUtone.com because he asked, you happen to know what size block I need for a Godot traditional trem for a Strat?
I don't make a straight up Godot replacement. I make the Godot 510. I make blocks for Godot 1996 locking trem. But that being said, some of my Strat blocks might match up to your Godot Strat style trem. Email me and I'll make arrangements for you of how to either send me the info or even send the bridge in. I'll take a look at it. If it matches up, I send it back with the block.
Nice. Let's see here. Michael B says, planning a Strat trem upgrade in 2022. We'll check out FUtone first and last.
Thank you.
Perfect. This is, here's it. Yeah, AQ Music. Hey, buddy. Tips for tuning a floating bridge. Every time I tune a string, the others go out of tune a bit.
Absolutely. Again, back to my videos. The way I would suggest doing that is you block the trem so it's stable, do your tuning, then you unblock it and refloat it by adjusting claw tension. Again, if you watch my setup videos of how to, install block, I get to that point of how to block it, tune it, intonate it, and then refloat it, and you will save years off of your life.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And thanks, Terry, as well as in the channel description, and Terry's been putting in the chat throughout the show here, links to both the FUtone.com website and YouTube channel, which I
thank you
subscribing to. Because I enjoy those videos. And it's not, I'm not going to, because it's not like it's heavily edited or anything. You just get to the point and it's like, wow, what normally someone takes 25 minutes to explain, you take 14 minutes. And it's the best 14 minutes I've spent in ages because I was like, wow, I just learned a lot in 14 minutes.
Thank you. I try to share the information with everybody, and especially kids, younger guys coming up. I know how frustrating it can be to be in a position where your guitar is not doing what you want it to do. And it's only because this information hasn't been shared. So.
Hey, thank you, More Guitars, for the super chat. He says, thanks for answering my question, guys. And Adam, I have no less than 5 Floyds fully tricked out with your stuff. Bob Miller, if it rings a bell.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, and happy Thanksgiving. Ben, I know you had yours already. Yes, I
Thank you. Thanks, More Guitars. That's really cool.
That's very, very cool.
Oh, and by the way, Ben, Thanksgiving's a holiday we celebrate in America here. So I know.
We had it a month and a half ago.
I know.
We're ahead of the game. You know why? Because the snow starts earlier, right? That's why
I know. Busting your balls. Let's go.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Let's see here. Wow. Thanks, Blackjack Guitar. Ben and Adam, great show and very helpful. Cheer. Oh, I'm glad folks are learning a couple things tonight.
Thank you.
That's half the fun. Is we don't want to just be an infomercial sales pitch, but
No, not at all. Actually, just the opposite. And whether you buy stuff from Effutone or not, it's fine. I don't care. I'm happy to answer questions, help, and just share the information.
Exactly. And Adam is a wealth of information, folks. I will say. I messaged him a few times. I'm like, how do I do that? You're like, yeah, just do this. And I'm like, thank you.
I'm like the suicide hotline for guitar players.
Well, especially because, like, I swear, like 95% of the guitars I set up are Telecasters for whatever reason. I could do that with my eyes closed. And then I get into, a locking trem. And, most of the time it goes smooth. But then once in a while, some of them have little idiosyncrasies. And it's just a matter of, how do you get around this? You're like, I've been there, done that.
Right.
Guitar Man 45 doesn't want any part of snow. Well, you're in Detroit. You're a little luckier. Little. Not much, but little. Nice. John says Adam's a great guest. I agree. Thank you. Brad Miller just put in the link to your Instagram page.
Thank you.
And More Guitar says, guys, please support these great shows. We all know they blow away any magazine these days. Support if you can. Thank you. That's the way I see it. Like, talk gear and, we do it for the greater good, because that way you're not cheering off somebody's ear that has no desire to hear this stuff. Although it does lead to more gas.
Oh, yeah.
Which is fine. I was going to ask, as much as you were at liberty to say, you were recently in Nashville, where another cool band, Skid Row, was, I assume, doing some recording.
Correct.
And did I not see an Effutone guitar in the studio?
You did. So
there's a possibility an Effutone guitar could be appearing on a recorded album.
Anything's a possibility. Those guys are just, again, much like LA Guns, the real deal. They're still out there making music, working hard, writing, playing. They could very easily sit back on their catalog and just phone it in. They are the real deal. Great guys. Scotty and Snake and Rachel, and that whole Tom's River ice cream shop nonsense connection. They are amazing guys, amazing band, and go catch that live because you want to see that.
I agree on that. Steve Douglas says, I could be here all night with questions. I absolutely love Floyd's. Great.
Excellent.
Yes, that's right, Jennifer. Effutone Class 101. I like that.
Yeah, she would know. Nashville, Skid Row, all the people.
Let's see here. Charlie S. asks, what's the craziest mod you've done?
Craziest. That's difficult. I can't say one thing was crazier than the other. Speaking of Skid Row, and now you have it in my mind, Snake has an old I think it was an early 70s Les Paul that had an aftermarket, locking tremolo installed into it. So back in the 80s, when you were dropping the locking tremolos into things like Les Pauls, it wasn't a recessed route. And the way the neck angle is on a Les Paul, you had to sit that bridge above the body. So because of the arch top, where the bridge sits, I had enough room to make a 60 millimeter L block for that guitar. The block was this big. It probably weighed a pound, and it sounded like there was a sustainer in the guitar. So Snake Sabo's 60 millimeter L block is high on the list.
I was going to say, I figured it was going to be some like obnoxiously large block or, yeah.
Beyond.
I dig it. Let's see. Stephen asks, have you heard of the Red Bishop bar tightening system? And are
Yes.
you looking at offering something similar?
Similar, no. The Red Bishop thing is super cool. Hats off. And believe me, I'm not that guy that's going to go, oh, it's not my idea or it's not my thing. It's not good. It's actually very good. And I looked into carrying it here, and it was not available to me in the States as of yet. But it is a very cool unit.
Nice. Well, let's see. Ian Nunez. Hey, buddy. I have a Harley Benton single cut series with a Floyd 1000. My only Floyd, and love it. Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. We're getting to the top of the hour. I got this one can be this one head scratcher. Do you have any tips on getting out stuck saddles out of a locking trim?
Stuck saddles. I think he might be referring to there's a pop like half of the Midwest who's stuck in 1954. No.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for it. Probably the saddle inserts. Or
that's what I'm gonna go with here. I think they're talking about saddle inserts, the little pinch blocks within the saddle. The cheaper ones and the older ones, they expand under pressure and they get stuck in the saddle and they don't move. Remove stuff. I'm sure he's talking about saddle inserts. They're a pain in the ass to get out. Sometimes I'll take the back of the saddle off and I'll just pop them out and then replace the back of the saddle. And then once you get them out, obviously replace them with titanium that won't get stuck in there. So every once in a while, you'll see one so bad where I'll say, just throw the saddle away and replace the saddle. Always a thing. But yeah, they're a pain in the ass to get out. So use titanium, never get stuck.
Exactly. Awesome. Well, we've basically hit to the top of the hour here. Do you have anything that we should be paying attention to in the future that we can maybe get a tease on?
I'm expanding the Reno guitars. Some new colors coming. There's always new parts coming out. What I suggest is at the bottom of the homepage at fu-tone.com, you can subscribe to the newsletter. I only send it out every so often, and it will only have either new products, new artists, or a promo code. Spoiler alert, there's one coming out next week with a holiday promo code. So that'll be out on Thanksgiving. And I would say just subscribe to the newsletter, roll with that. And this went way too fast, and we don't do it enough. So what I'll suggest is we should do it more often. And I'm not like pimping the product or go buy a few tone. I love sharing the technical information. I love talking tone. I love talking gear and helping, solve the problems that we have. Only because I was that kid. I was that frustrated kid.
Definitely. Yes, definitely. We will not wait so long until next time. Yeah. And that, I will say, folks, if you haven't noticed already, I'm getting into a trend where it's a shorter overall group of guests, more reappearing guests, and the trend is continuing. And not that I'm lazy in finding new guests. It's just certain people I like to continue conversations with, like Adam. And other people, it's like, oh, that was cool to meet you.
I love hanging out with you, whether it's here or if we jump on the phone, just us, but mainly in person. It's been too long, and I can't wait to hang again. So
definitely, yeah.
And thanks to anyone who tuned in. I appreciated it. It means a lot.
Yeah, I think we had a great crowd of people in here. We had a great group of questions, and definitely, folks, if that's the great thing about Adam and FU Tone. If you do have an issue, contact him. He's got the answers. Lawrence says Ben can moderate the new FU channel. Well, if Adam did live streams, I'd be more than happy to do that. But
I jump on Instagram live once in a while,
yes.
but we mainly just shoot the shit and give away, shirts and Pop-Tarts and things like that.
Yeah, and I always miss them. I always hear about it. I always like pick up Amanda for work the next day, and she's like, "Oh, you missed Adam's live." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Yep, I did. So
she's awesome. So thank you for inviting me.
Definitely.
Thank you for having me. We go way back. I think you're awesome, and
I think you're pretty awesome too.
We will just keep it going, man.
Definitely. So thanks everybody that tuned in tonight. Adam, if you just hold the line here. Thanks everybody that tuned in. Please give a like. Again, subscribe if you're new. Appreciate everybody that contributed to tonight's show. I'll be back tomorrow with Canucks with Guitars, more live Q&A, and we'll continue with that. Sure, why not? So as always, hold those doors open. Let that lady in ahead of you in traffic. Do good things, and good things will happen to you. Why? Doug's wife is real. I know. I vacationed with her for 2 weeks. So be good to each other. Happy
Cheers, everyone.
And of course, don't litter.
Another good piece of